This season for the New York Jets was kind of an unexpected one. I think many people probably would have expected a 6 to 8 win season. I think they were expecting maybe a step or kind of staying in the same spot. Staying stagnant. And after a 1-3 start, I think many people anticipated that to be the case. I think many people thought that, many prognosticators were correct. But with big wins over the Raiders and over the eventual number 1 seeded New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles, this team was able to kind of get their season back on track. And, kind of maybe ask the question, are we really a playoff team? Now, they dropped some opportunities throughout the course of the season, and throughout the season as well, they got punched in the mouth. But this team kept getting back up. And heading into week 15, they needed a tad bit of help. But what they also needed, no matter what, it was win their last 3 games. And that is exactly what they did. And now they are going to the playoffs. And they're going to Buffalo, New York for their first playoff game in quite some time. Welcome, everybody, to another episode here in this series. It is playoff football now, and it's going to be the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets, 2 AFC East rivals, about to take center stage for the right to go to the divisional round. Josh Allen, Owen Phillips, 2 guys, 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks, about to take center stage. Josh Allen did not make the Pro Bowl this year. Owen did. Josh made it last season. 2nd down and 8, as the Bills on their first possession, who got the ball first, did not do anything with it. And now it's a 3rd down and 7. They're going to send some pressure. It gets picked up, and Matthew Foster makes the catch. Matthew Foster was voted to the Pro Bowl this year. And I think he is a star in the making for this Jets team. And he made that play against all-pro corner Tre'Davious White. But if I'm the Jets, I wouldn't really test them too much. No matter man-to-man or zone, I wouldn't really test them. 1st down 10 from the 45, you pick up 2. 2nd down 8, Owens in the shotgun. He's going to draw back. No one's really open. He's just going to check it down, and Ronald Jones makes the catch. And that is going to be a gain of 7. 3rd down and 1 from the 45-yard line. It's going to be a handoff to Ronald Jones, and it's going to be enough for a 1st down. That's a gain of 3. Ronald Jones, throughout parts of the season, was rough. It was rough for him. Things just didn't really go his way, but he's picked up his play. And Christopher Herndon IV, a career year for him, such a career year that he was voted to the Pro Bowl. And that's going to be enough for a 1st down. And Ronald Jones actually picked up the 1st down. I accidentally misspoke. That is my bad. I apologize. But he picks up the 1st down. But Ronald Jones is playing a lot better football over these last couple of games. And Noah Lockhart is going to be down and shaken up on the play after a gain of 5. And he is going to have to head off the field. He looks like he's holding his shoulder, and it's an upper body injury of some sort, and he's going to have to head back to the locker room. And the problem with Noah Lockhart, who, by the way, I think his contract's coming up soon, is that the injuries have just been a huge problem as that pass is incomplete. You got to stay on the field. But when he's been on the field, and when everybody's been on the field for our offensive line, it's been good. It's been really good. As we pick up a 1st down on that screen pass, and we just got word on Noah Lockhart that his day is done. It is a severely bruised shoulder, and actually they're gonna call it dislocation. I'm sorry, and his day's done. So we are already without one of our interior offensive linemen. 3rd down inches after a gain of 4. And it's going to be a flip out to Ben Colvin, and he does not get anything. And the field goal unit is going to come onto the field. After the field goal, the Bills did not get anything on their next offensive possession. And the Jets will start their next possession on offense at the 22-yard line. And there are 2 Pro Bowlers right there discussing about how the Jets can move the football against a pretty tough Bills defense, excuse me. The Jets defense is tough too, as Ben Colvin picks up, about a gain of 2. And by the way, the Bills were really good at stopping the run this year. So your best bet is attack them through the air like that. That's going to be enough. Excuse me. For a first down. And first down 10, they're going to send some pressure. It does not get home. And Owen Phillips has some room. He could have picked up the first down, but he picks up 6 instead. This is the playoffs. Man. You got to put your body a little bit more on the line. But he has fumbled. Ronald Jones has fumbled as well multiple times before. And I think that's a gain of 13 yards on the play. And that's going to be enough for a first down. Both of these two defenses in the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills were really great at stopping the run. Matthew Foster could not make that play against all-pro corner Tre'Davious White. And a false start by Ronald Jones is going to back him up and make it 2nd and 15. You can't have penalties like that in a game like this. You just can't. Penalties and mistakes can cost you a game in the National Football League. That's what cost him in Week 1, and negative plays like that as well cost him in Week 1. That's a loss of 3. 3rd and 18, and I think Owen just knew, we can't pick this up. And it is going to be a punt, but the Bills don't do anything again. Our defense has done a great job. And there goes Levi Bates. He had a great year. He had a great season. And that is going to be enough for a first down. And on first down 10, Justice Jackson, who had a tough rookie year, only picks up 1. 2nd down and 9 from the 39-yard line, and just a quick throw, but that pass is going to get knocked down. 3rd down and 9, and Owen, he's trying to find somebody, but he just throws it away. Time eventually ran out. There's nothing he could do, and it's going to get called intentional grounding, and the Bills scored a touchdown on their last offensive possession. And they sent pressure to open up this drive. A loss of 5. The Bills defense has been flying around to open up this game. And 2nd and 15, Owen takes a hit, but he eventually finds Denzel Mims for a gain of about 10. Now you got a 3rd down and 5 from the 30. Owen drops back and can't find anyone. The pass is going to get knocked down. The pass was originally intended for Christopher Herndon, the 4th. And there goes Ronald Jones. He shakes off a hit and he picks up a first down. I think if you're the Bills, if you're the Jets, you gotta get up to the line. You gotta start picking up the pace. On 2nd and 10, he's gonna take the shot down the middle of the field, and Dante Burnett picks up a big chunk of yards. He picked up a big chunk of yards in Week 11 against the Patriots. Both of those two plays went for big plays. The one against the Patriots went for a touchdown, and Ronald Jones picks up a gain of 11. Now it's about 10 seconds left. You gotta snap the football. I don't know why they didn't call timeout, but there's a shot down the middle of the field to Matthew Foster, who has had a quiet first half. But they're just going to settle for 3, and it's a 6-10 game for the Buffalo Bills. Now, one thing that you guys did not see in this game was the fact that the Bills went for it on 2 4th downs. They did not pick up either one of those 4th downs, and they were in field goal range. So this could easily be a 16-6 game. This could easily be a 2-3 score game. Our offense hasn't been good enough. Our defense hasn't been fantastic, spectacular, or anything like that. But when you make mistakes and when you can't finish drives and when you can't, after 2 first downs do anything after that, you're not going to really put up many points. And that's what has happened here in the first half. I think the running game needs to stay very much a focus point of this offense. Denzel Mims has had a quiet first half. I think they got to get him more involved in this offense. The defense, I think they're doing the best they can, because there's been a lot of drives of just 3 to 6 plays, and Jets offense is off the field. The Jets offense has got to do more here in the second half. I'll see you guys to open up the second half as the Jets will receive the second half kickoff. Welcome everybody to the second half, as the Jets will open up with the football to open up the second half, and the Bills defense has been the ones that have been winning this matchup, especially in the secondary. We have ran the football decently well, but our passing game has not gotten it going. It's really been the passing game that has really pushed this offense to at least an acceptable level, not exceptional, acceptable. So they need to get things going, even though the passing game really wasn't bad at all. Second down 3, and there goes Ben Colvin with a gain of 10. That's going to be enough for a first down. And Ben Colvin just got notified that he is going to be the Rookie of the Year in the AFC this year. What a good year for him. And Christopher Herndon IV, the Pro Bowl tight end, makes a catch for a gain of about 7. And that is going to be enough for a 2nd and 3 from the 46-yard line. Owens in the shotgun. He's trying to find somebody. No one's open. Not a single soul is open, excuse me. And it's going to be a scramble for a first down. First down 10 from the 48-yard line, and Jeff Smith is going to make the quick reception on the quick throw, and that is going to be enough for a gain of 6. Second down and 4 from the 41-yard line, and Ronald Jones, he's going to try to pick up the first down, and I guess they just gave it to him. First down 10, Owens in the shotgun. He's going to try to go to Ben Colvin, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Teron Johnson. And just not really a great decision. Ben Colvin really didn't see the football coming. And really the person that had a better chance of getting to that football was Teron Johnson. He just drove on it. And a missed opportunity. And Mekhi Becton, is shaking up on the play. And honestly, in a lot of these losses for the New York Jets this year, you can point to missed chances and missed opportunities and turnovers to be the reasons of why they lost these games. You can point to that. And second down 3, great play from the corner. I believe that might have been Tre'Davious White. I can't tell. Third down 3 from the 11-yard line, and Matthew Foster picks up the first down on the catch. And Tre'Davious White was in coverage. It seems like to me Tre'Davious White has followed Matthew Foster for a good portion of this game. And that is going to be enough not enough for a first down by Christopher Herndon. Gain of about nearly 10. Let's call it like that. 2nd and inches. And it's going to be a handout to Ronald Jones. Good blocking from that right side of the offensive line. And that helps Ronald Jones pick up a first down. He has played a phenomenal game today. A phenomenal game. And maybe the Jets should give him the football more. First down 10, and Denzel Mims makes his second appearance of this football game. And that's going to be past midfield into Bills territory, and that's going to be enough for a first down. And just the timing of this throw was excellent. That ball was out before Denzel Mims was even out of his break. That is West Coast offense, ladies and gentlemen. That is some West Coast offense. And Justice Jackson is going to receive a pass from Dan Phillips. He makes the catch. That's going to be enough for a gain of 9 on the play. Second down 1, and it seems like to me it's going to be a false start. And yes, it is. Yes, it will be. You can't have penalties like that. You just can't. Second down 6 from the 43-yard line, and that's going to be a gain of 4. Third down and 2 from the 39-yard line. They're going to send some pressure, and it's going to be Ronald Jones making the catch. Nobody's with Ronald Jones, and it is going to be a touchdown for the Jets, and they take the lead. Here in Buffalo, New York, it is a brutally cold afternoon here in Buffalo, New York, and the Jets have came to play, and they're trying to continue that hot momentum from the end of the regular season into this game. It hasn't been the greatest performance from them, but, they got the lead, Can they hold it? That's the question. But no one was with Ronald Jones. I think not enough people were in coverage to stop that play. First down 10 from the 20, and Ben Colvin picks up a gain of 3. 2nd and 7. And you got Ronald Jones is now in the game. Owen in the shotgun. 4-man rush, and that pass is knocked away. I believe Tre'Davious White knocked that one away. 3rd down and 7. Owen has someone in his face trying to go deep to Denzel Mims, and he... Welcome to the 4th quarter here, everybody. And it is a 4-point deficit for the New York Jets. And we're about 13 minutes left to go here in the 4th quarter. 2nd down and 3. And it's going to be a handoff to Ben Colvin, and he picks up a gain of 5. That's going to be enough for a 1st down. You know, Ben Colvin, hasn't really had the greatest of games here today. But, he's played serviceable today. It's really been Ronald Jones that has been the star of the show for this offense. He really has been the star. 2nd down and 4 from the 44-yard line. Owen Phillips drops back, and that ball should have been picked. It should have been going back the other way without a shadow of a doubt. That's just a piss poor decision, as Ronald Jones, as I said, has been the driving force of this football team here. Not this football team, but really this offense. He has been excellent today. 1st down 10. They set pressure, and Christopher Herndon IV makes a tough grab. AJ Espinosa is shaken up on the play. He's going to have to head off the field. 5 catches for 51 yards for Christopher Herndon IV. He's been big time. He's been big time for this team. 1st down 10 from the 34-yard line. Owens in the shotgun with Ben Colvin in the backfield. He's going to drop back. He's going to try to fire over the middle of the field. And that ball is picked off by the all-pro corner, Tre'Davious White. And that ball is going to get sent back the other way for a pick 6. And the Bills are now up by 2 scores on a pass that should have never been thrown from their quarterback. Now in this next drive, it's going to be opened up with a gain of 21 from Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones has been sensational here today. And I think, without question, his best game of the year is this one right here. And this is probably the Bills' best play against him in the running game. And usually those type of plays for Ronald Jones has been routine. This has been a game where, he's stepped up and he's made plays, but the quarterback play in the second half, the decision making, it's just some poor throws, poor decisions. 3rd down and 1, and I think the flat is open, but Owen didn't see, but he still picks up a 1st down. Great protection from the offensive line. The flat's wide open, and Owen just didn't see it. Owen has not really seen the field very well here in the second half. And Denzel Mims, who hasn't really been that involved here in this game, he has not. He makes a catch, he picks up a 1st down. There's still a great deal of time left to go in this game, and it's Ronald Jones, who has been absolutely phenomenal in this game. And in my opinion, they probably should have gave him the football more in this game. They should. They should have up to this point, excuse me. 2nd down goal from the 3 as Owen Phillips finds Christopher Herndon IV, for the touchdown. New York. They sent pressure. They sent the house. And I think this was engage 8. And engage 8, not everybody is going to be covered. Everybody's going to be in the zone. And that's what happens. And that's what was called by the Buffalo Bills. And that's what happened. 2nd down, on 2-point conversion, they sent another blitz. And Jeff Smith makes the catch, and it's now a 3-point game. The Bills did not do anything with the football on their next offensive possession. So this could easily be the opportunity to take the lead. Now, to open up this drive, instead of starting at the 20, this drive is going to open up at the 10. Not really great field position, to be honest. And Owen Phillips picks up a gain of 7 with the catch by, I believe that's Deontay Burnett. That is a gain of 7. 2nd down and 3. Owen's going to step up and he's going to fire over the middle field. Matthew Foster makes the catch. Gain of 27. What a throw from Owen Phillips. That was a laser down the pike. That was a throwing a needle in a haystack, And there is Owen Phillips losing 4 yards on the throw and catch to Ben Colvin. 2nd and 14, Owens in the shotgun. And, I mean, nobody's open. I mean, not a soul. And he just had to throw it away. And this is going to be intentional grounding again. You know, this is the second time on plays where nobody was open. Not a soul was open for Owen Phillips. And he's going to try to go to the flat on 3rd down and 25, which is kind of not really the throw you have to make. You got to throw the ball a little bit more down the field and make it an easier 4th down instead of 4th and 25 here on this play. Owen's going to step up. They got to find this or the game's over. And Deontay Burnett comes up clutch. What a play from Burnett from Phillips. I mean, just a big-time play. 1st down 10 from the 39-yard line. And no one was open except Christopher Herndon the 4th. You know? Big-time play. 2nd and 6 from the 35-yard line. They're going to send some pressure. And Owen Phillips is going to get picked off again. A pass that was offline. A ball that was completely offline. Off target. The blitz was picked up somewhat well. He had enough time. And he just made an errant throw. And that throw is going to, unfortunately, end up costing the Jets this game. And those 3 picks in the second half are going to end up doing the Jets in. And the Jets are going to lose this game 24-21. And the Bills are going to move on to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Another matchup between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes is going to commence in this stadium next week. It's a shame. It really is a shame that we actually had to lose in this type of fashion. A game where I threw the game away. Let's just be clear. I threw this game completely out the window with those 3 picks. You know, and I think the last one was a lot less of my fault. Even though they did somewhat cover that throw, that ball just wasn't where it needed to be. It was just offline. Maybe miscommunication, I don't know, but that ball was just offline. You know, the defense played well enough to win this game. The running game was there. The offensive line was there. But this game was on me. And the quarterback play just wasn't there today. It just wasn't. The offseason video, you know, is going to be next. Hope you guys liked the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great day. Peace.